Okay, so now I have this background. I think it's time to bring the girls in. I have them all extracted, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine all of this into a single folder called background, just to kind of have it easy, less cluttered over here on the side. So I need to unlock this, and I just click on the little lock there, and it opens this up, changes it from background layer to layer 0. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to name it background. I can type. There we go. And then I'm just going to take all of these, I'm going to highlight them all, Command G, and I'm going to call it background. So that all of this is in the background. I'm going to put all the girls on top. Now the way I like to do that, you can open them, you can drag and drop, you can do lots of different things to put them in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a file place embedded, and that's going to automatically bring a file in, whatever file I choose. It's going to automatically bring it in as a smart object. So I have the files as TIFFs over here under Team Poster TIFFs, and eventually they'll show up, I hope. There they are. And I'm going to bring them in, and you can only choose one at a time. You can't choose multiples. So if you try to click here and choose multiples, it won't do that. So I'm going to bring them in one at a time, and I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. So this one is in, so I just click place, and it will place it in here. And it will be at its original size, like that. Already clipped, or excuse me, already extracted. So there she is, and then I'm just going to go right down the line. There's 14 of them. So I'm not going to go through on this video having you watch me bring every one of them in. So I'm going to stop it right now, and then we'll start again whenever I have all the girls in. Okay, so here I have all the girls imported, and what I realized is that I have one girl in here twice, and I'm not sure I have all the girls that belong in here. So I still haven't received a roster from the coach, and that's going to be something that'll finalize the who goes in here, make sure I have everybody accounted for. But I do know I have the 4 seniors, and the 4 seniors are the very first ones. So what I'm going to do is, and the reason I like to do it this way is because I want to resize them all at the same time, because then you know that they're relative to one another, they're all sized properly, and that's pretty important. And the way I'm sure that that's the case is because I have a piece of tape that I put on the ground. They all stand on that piece of tape. The camera never moves, so I never zoom in or out at all. So they all should be the perfect height relative to one another, perfect size. So we're going to hope that that's the case, and I don't, it's pretty much a done deal if you do it that way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these first 4 here, because they are the seniors, and I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to put them in a group, and we're going to call them seniors. And then we're going to group the others, and we're going to call them underclassmen. So we highlight all of those, and we call them underclassmen, or underclass women, I guess, in this case. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off, well, I'm going to turn them off. So I'm going to turn off the underclassmen, and I have the seniors here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the seniors where they need to be placed. So the final one you can see is on top is this young lady here, it's number 19, I think. But I'm going to move the others out. So I'm going to take the ones with the bats are going to go on the outside, and I think it's these 2 in the middle. So I'm going to grab this one with my move tool, and I'm just going to move her out here like this. I want their feet to all be in the same plane. So she's going to move up here to something like this. Now she looks like she's a lot closer than the others, so it's that doesn't make a lot of sense, but look how big her feet are compared to some of these others. But we're going to take this second one here. She, I think, has the bat. We're going to move her out here like this. But they are, you know, this girl is a little bit bigger than this girl. This girl is, I think, a little bit shorter than this one. We're going to take her. She's the one on top. We're going to move her to be kind of right in here off to the side. Maybe a little bit like this. And then we're going to take, I think it would be this first one here, and we're going to move her over here to be kind of in here like this. So right off the bat, it looks, just from looking at it, it looks like this girl is much bigger than all of the rest, and this girl is even bigger than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put them all in perspective. Now, I don't know why that would be the case. It could be that something was changed, or she actually didn't stand on the tape or something, but I don't see that as being the case. I'm not sure why she's bigger, but I'm going to take her anyway, and I'm going to make sure that I'm selecting her, which is this second one here. I'm going to take her, and I always have the original of her if I don't want to change this, but I'm going to bring her down in size a little bit to be a little bit more in line with the other girls. Something like this, because I don't think she's that much bigger. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take this one on top, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a Command T for free transform. She doesn't need to be changed a whole lot, so I'm going to take her a little bit like that, just a little bit. Because if you look at, I'm looking at their feet too, because I don't think any of them have feet that are so much bigger than the others that I think, and the gloves and the bats. So I think that's going to size them pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all four of them at a time, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to resize them down so that they fit in here looking pretty good. And they're going to be the center of attention in here. So somewhere right in there, I think, is going to be pretty good for them. And I may spread them out a little bit, may, you know, make them smaller. It's going to, a lot of it's going to depend on the folks in the back here, the girls in the back. So I think that looks pretty good for them. I'll come in and do some reflections and put a floor in for them shortly. So, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come in here with the underclassmen, and I've got them in here. And I think this girl is in there twice. I'm pretty sure she is, but we're gonna leave it the way it is right now. And I'm going to open that one up with the underclassmen, and you can see there's several of them, and they're going to go everywhere. But I want them to be kind of like the original that I don't have up here. Let me go bring that I don't have it here. Okay, so I'll go bring that image up so that we can compare. And this is it right here. So we're going to open right here. So we have that to compare to. So these two girls wanted to be, the ones with the bats wanted to be here, and we had this girl in the middle that has the bat behind her. So we're going to kind of do it like that. This girl's tossing the ball up. We have a girl that does that. And then the other girls, I think, just are doing some different things. There's a girl that has the ball out front, like that girl. So I'm not going to try to place them exactly, but I think it makes sense to have one that's holding the bat like this and one that's holding the bat like that, kind of have them offsetting one another. But I think we may have more than two, and if we do, then we'll deal with that too. But we're going to kind of place them the way that they're placed here. So we're going to take, and we're going to turn them off, and we're going to go one at a time, I think. So here's one of those girls that has the bat like this. Actually, I turned them all off but two. So we have two of these girls like that. Now these girls are going to need to be a lot smaller, but we're going to take her and we're going to put her over here, and then we're going to come in, we're going to take this girl and we're going to move her over here like this, and we're quickly going to run out of room here. And then we have this girl in the middle. Whoops, we have this girl in the middle. Okay, if I'll click on her, we have this girl in the middle here. And then we are going to have all these other girls all around them. Like this girl is the one tossing the ball that was over in this area. I tell you what I'm going to do to make everything a little easier. I'm going to grab the entire thing here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make them smaller like this. They're going to be smaller than the girls in front, no doubt about it, because they are further away. And the girls in front are the ones that are going to need to be emphasized the most. So we're going to actually make them even smaller here, especially since we have a lot of girls to get in here. Okay, and by the way, they're going to be gradated so that their bodies, probably from about the hips down, are grayed out, are not visible. Maybe even just below the hip, maybe just right in here, just below the cheekbone or the cheeks there. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got, they're all sized to be the same. This girl is much smaller than this girl, but I'm going to have them pretty much the same for headroom. You're not going to notice their feet, but just so that they are visible. I wouldn't have her down so much that she's not visible. So we're going to go ahead and accept that. And this is just a bunch of trial and error. But we're going to take this girl, which I think is this one here. We're going to move her over to the side like this. And then we're going to take this girl, we're going to move her over to the side like this. And I think they actually need to be even smaller. Probably all of them need to be smaller, even the front, the ones in front. And then we're going to take this girl and we're going to move her up here somewhere. She needs to probably be behind that girl. So you have to kind of, think about that too. Where do they need to be placed with one another? So I'm going to take her and I'm going to put her behind that girl, which is the second girl. So there she is behind her now. And she's going to be tossing a ball up, and that ball is going to be up here. And we're quickly hiding the word spotlight. So I'm going to do one more thing before I continue. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to move the underclassmen to be behind the seniors, which is the way it's going to be. Much easier to see what's going on. And I'm going to take all of them, or both of them. First of all, I'm going to put them in another group, and I'm going to call it players. Players. So that I have that group as a whole. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make it even smaller, because there's going to be, especially the girls in the back are going to need more room. So now we're going to move it over here, and probably even smaller than that. There we go. Let's start with that. And remember, this is 4 girls. This is 4 girls. That's 8. I have 6 more girls to put in here. So it's a fairly small team. I thought there would be more than 14, but I guess 14 is a good spot. You play 10 at a time, or 9 at a time in fast pitch, I guess. So, okay, let's get these other girls out here. So let's turn this one on, and there she is. She's going to have the ball out front, I believe. So if I grab her, no, she has her glove out front. So we're going to put her up here like that. And we're just going to start kind of placing these girls. And maybe I want her over here, but I don't want her in front of the girl with the ball up. So I just have to kind of figure out where I want everybody. And we're going to take, there is a thing called auto select, which I'm going to use auto select here, so that, because usually I name these the girls' names, but I don't know all the girls yet, and I don't have a roster. So I'm just going to use auto select, and then when I click on the girl, it automatically selects her layer. So now I'm going to take her and move her out so that she's moved out here to the side, and then I'm going to click on this girl and we're going to move her out. Remember, she's behind her. And then I'm going to take this girl and I'm going to move her over here, but she's going to be in front. I can't do that because she's going to be in front of her tossing the ball up. I can do that, but I could put her in front of her, but then to be hiding her glove. So you have to consider all of those different aspects. Now it looks like she's grabbing her head with her glove. So That's not where she's going to rest, but I'm going to leave her there for now. I'm going to bring her down a little bit. So I'm going to turn this one on. Here's another girl, and she's the one pushing the ball out. So we're going to put her here for right now, and I'm going to put her behind the girl that's tossing the ball up, which, let's see, she is the third girl, so I'm going to take her and put her behind the third girl right here, like that. And now she has her ball behind her. Okay, and we're going to have to rearrange them, but I'm just trying to get them out there for now. We have this girl who's like, and again with her glove up in the air. So some of these are going to be pretty hard to imagine. I can actually put her on the outside because nothing says those girls with the bats have to be on the outside. So we're going to do that for now. She's off the page, but we're going to move her in shortly. And then we'll take this girl. She's got a bat. So we have another one with a bat from the right side that really needs to be over here. Maybe we'll put her like right in here, and she'll need to be also behind this other girl. So we'll put her right here. Actually, maybe it's right there behind her. And there we go. So she's behind this girl that has the ball out, and you barely can see her. So it's not gonna work out right there, but we'll work something out. Again, they may need to actually even be smaller. And in this other one, they actually had some girls down here too. So I may do something like that. But you can see that. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 girls across the top, and all we want is, let's see, 9. We actually want 10 across the top. So I may have to do something to put some girls down here, and that's not a big deal. We'll do that if we need to, which means these girls are going to be squeezed in just a little more probably. So let's go ahead and throw these other 2 girls in here, and here's another girl that is pushing the ball out. So we have a lot of girls doing exactly the same thing. I'm just going to stick her up here for right now, and I kind of might put her over here underneath, and this girl actually can be moved out a little bit like the other girl, and we'll do some rearranging here in just a second. Let me turn this other girl on, and again, yes, this is the duplicate, so it's actually not the same file. So one of these is probably for her banner because she did exactly the same thing on her banner. So I'm going to take this one and turn it off. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 13 girls in here. And I don't, like I said, I don't have a roster, so I don't know if I have everybody or not, but we're going to assume that this is everybody for the moment and begin to place them a little bit. So I think what I definitely want to do is I want to bring 1 or 2 of these girls down here. So I'm going to take this girl and bring her down here kind of like this. Remember, these are our guides. These are our bleed lines. So as long as they're inside this bleed line here, they're going to be good. I'm going to get rid of this bleed line. I don't need it for now. So we've got her in here, and I can actually even move her over a little bit further, but I may put another girl in here. So it may wind up that I put maybe this girl in here along beside her. That's probably not a good option because she is going to have the ball tossing up on the left side, and it could be hidden by this girl, and I don't want that. So I'd probably maybe bring, let's see, maybe bring this girl in here. She's going to have to be brought up further in the ranks here so that she's in front of some people. There we go. So if I take this girl, move her back just a little bit, and then she should be on top of this girl probably. And then I can spread out these up here at the top a little bit. And if I bring maybe this girl over here, now she's turned away, so do I want that, or do I want to have maybe this girl down here like this, and then maybe another girl down beside her? So if I do something like that, I need to make all of the players a little smaller again. So you can see how this is just a you know, a hit and miss. You just have to kind of throw in here, and what's going to happen is I'm going to turn this into the coach, and I'm going to say, how do you like how I've placed everybody? And she's going to come back with, I want you to move this one to there and this one to there and blah blah blah, and then I will accommodate what she wants. But I'm trying to place them in places that make sense at the moment. So I am making them a little bit smaller here, and I think it makes sense because then I can spread them apart a little bit, especially the girls in here, and I may even get most of them on the top. But one more little squish here. I think we're going to start with that, and continue to move them around until we get something that seems to make a little bit of sense. Now this girl is pretty much hidden by her, and I don't like that, so we're going to take her and move her out a little bit, and we're going to take her and move her out some and have something like that. And I think I want her behind her, so I need to take, that's number 59 over here, so I need to take this one. Whoops, that was 59. So I actually need to just move this one on top of that one like that. So now she's on top of her, and it looks a little bit better. Now remember that this is going to be faded out. Their feet, their legs, everything's going to be faded out. So now we can come in here. I can grab this girl and bring her back here a little bit more like that. This girl makes a little bit of sense now with her ball toss. This girl over here I can move over. This girl I can move over. Now this girl is, that's like, you know, I have an extra one with a bat. So I have this one on the end and this one on the end. I could move them inside and bring somebody on the outside. So I could swap places here, but then I've got two bats together. So I kind of like the way that is, but I could bring this bat down here and put this girl over there, something like that, so that I have a bat down below, but then you've got them right next to each other. So it's kind of a, I kind of like probably where she is. I'll bring this girl over just a little bit more. You can't even see her hand with the ball going up, so I need to do that. Maybe I need to move her in front. So I could easily bring her down here like this, something like that. Then I can bring these girls in a little bit closer like this, which I think I want to do anyway. Now this girl is out front. I don't necessarily like that, so I'm going to take the senior here and I'm going to put her at the very bottom so that these girls are kind of in front of her, and that's okay because she's pretty dominant. She's a big figure here, so she's pretty dominant. Even behind them she's pretty dominant, so I think that's going to work out fine. I'm going to move her over just a little bit more and her over just a little bit more, and now you have, let's see, move her down, trying to get their feet kind of where they make sense if they were standing together. So now you have the seniors looking pretty good with more room in here for these girls, and I don't want this bat to be in her way, but I don't want her to be in front of the bat. So moving this over, now see, her hand is off of the page, so I don't really like that. Let me see if I take, maybe if I swapped with this girl, put her over here. So if I take her over here and then take her over here, she's going to need to be in front of them. So let's see, that's 52 in front of 44 and 59, so I need 52 to be up here, right here. So now she's in front, and now we can move her over just a little bit more, get her close to the edge there, and have her here with the ball being tossed up, and I may even have her behind her arm. May look okay. Now what I have though is two batters that are not broken by anybody, so I don't like that. So what I can do, I don't, this is kind of a tough one, because if I would like to take her and put her up here, but then I'm unbalanced. I have two over here and one over here, and I don't want it to be unbalanced like that. So let me see. What would I do? What would I like to do? I'm pretty sure I would like to have this girl up here. Or up here, she's going to be a little bit hidden by those bats, but not too bad. Then I can take her, this girl, move her over a little bit. But then I want this to be more balanced. So I kind of would like to have this girl on this side because she's got the ball in her right hand that kind of balances this. So then I would like to have this girl up here somewhere, meaning I need to spread these out a little bit more. It's pretty balanced right now, but because you have a middle and two, well, actually I need another one over here, so that might work out perfectly. If you notice, I have one in the middle and three on this side and only two over here, so maybe I can just move these a little bit. I probably want to put her behind her, so that's 62 to be behind 47. So we're going to take 62 and we're going to move her behind 47, and that puts her behind her. Now the bat's kind of right in her face, so we might work with that a little bit, move her over just a little bit. I can get it to work. 47, there we go. Sometimes the memory causes this to be a little slow. It's moving like it should. Remove her over just a little bit more, and then we'll take this girl and move her up here. And now her hand is hiding the ball here, so I think I'm going to swap places with them and move her over here and move her over here like this. Now she's got her glove on her head again, which I don't like. Looks like she's covering her head there. So it's one of those things, and she's doing exactly the same thing this girl's doing. So the only thing I could do probably is, let's see, I want to swap her with somebody. If I swap her with this girl like I had it before, then the ball and the glove are at odds. So I think in general I like this a lot better, and it's more balanced this way. I just don't like this glove on top of her head like that. And I could swap her with this batter, and then the glove would be like over here. Excuse me. So why don't we do that? If I take her and put her over here, now her glove is behind her head. If I take her and move her over here, then we have a better situation, I think. So let's see, that is number 60, and she needs to be actually in front of number 52. So I'm going to take 60 and move her up here so that her hands are in front of her shoulder here. And then that, to me, that looks pretty good. These girls are down here kind of isolated, and I kind of like that because she's going to have a ball tossed up here. This girl here, I like the idea that she's balancing this side with her ball like that, and neither one of these girls would look good. In fact, this girl may look better because she's a little bigger, but this is one of those two where I think this girl just needs to be a little bigger. So anyway, I kind of like this. This is what we're going to go with for the moment until Coach tells us different. She's probably going to say, this girl is very small. She's probably going to say she's too small. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just make her a little bigger. She is smaller than the other girls, just like, where is she? There's another girl in here. This girl right here is also smaller than the other girls. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and make her a little bigger. Just to, I know the coach is going to want her to be a little more not dominant, but a little bit bigger compared to the other girls. She doesn't want her to look so tiny, so I'll just go ahead and do that. So this is what we're going to go with at the moment until the coach tells us different. Now all these girls were shot at the same time. They were all shot in a indoor facility, indoor softball, or actually an indoor football facility on the grass, and they were shot with the same lights and everything. It looks like this girl right here, though, that maybe one of the lights didn't fire properly. So this girl just needs her face kind of lightened up. Each one of these girls is going to be treated separately. So I have they all came in as smart objects over here, and what I'm going to do is go in and treat each one of them separately as a separate file, and they're all going to get some dodging and burning. They're all going to get some blemish removal, whitened teeth, whitened eyes, that sort of thing for each one of them. And it takes a little bit of time to do that, but we're going to do that. Now each one of this also to me is a little bit more saturated than what I would like. So what I probably will do is come in here, especially on the entire group, and do a hue and saturation adjustment and clip it to that group. And I'm just going to take this saturation down probably to about 30, somewhere in here, 24 to 30. And I could do it individually, and I may include that so that I can see the effect of each one individually. But this brings the saturation down some. It makes it not so bright off the page. But each one of these girls is going to get their own little adjustment. I will definitely lighten her up some so that she blends in with the rest of them. Some of them are really light complected. I'll probably darken it just a tiny bit. But all of them will get dodging and burning, and they'll all come back here looking a lot different than they do at this point. So I'm going to go in and start that process of dodging and burning, and that's where we will go now.